Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I've done several videos on making freezer jam, strawberry and raspberry, but I got some blackberries on sale and decided to film making the blackberry jam. The store close to me had blackberries on sale last week for 2 for 1. And buy one get one free, and so it turned out to be $1.50 per container of blackberries. That's not quite as good as the weekend of July 4th. One of the stores had them for 69 cents a container, but $1.50 is still pretty good for this area. So here I'm just washing them up, and this is 6 containers of blackberries, and I think they're 4.6 ounces. I'll have to double check that. They are 6 ounces each. I've got 6 containers of blackberries here. The recipe in the Jam-Sure-jell package calls for 3 cups of crushed fruit. I like to use 1/2 to 2/3 of the juice of the blackberries instead of all straight fruit, and so that requires me to strain the seeds and the pulp to get the juice out. First, I'm going to mash up the berries with my potato masher. And you may be thinking that you don't want to go to all this fuss and work, but seriously, this only took me about 30 minutes to do all of this. It's very quick, even with the mashing and the straining of the berries. So with the berries all mashed, I just spoon them into my fine mesh sieve and just start pressing down with the back of a spoon to get the juice out. I just don't like my jam to be as full of seeds as it would be if I just used straight fruit. I occasionally scrape the bottom of the sieve to get the juice from the bottom there. And when I am done with the fruit, I have a bowl to my side that I am scraping it into. This is the pectin that I use. They also make a low sugar variety. So I'm just pouring the rest of the fruit in with the juice here, and for this recipe I need 3 cups of crushed fruit and juice. If you have a mixing bowl like this that has measurements on the side, it makes this just really that much easier. I'm using the recipe for the freezer jam that came in the Jam-Sure-jell package. They have a lot of different recipes for different fruits, and even mint jelly and jalapeno jelly. 5 1/4 cups sugar went into the bowl. Then I mixed it really well until all of the sugar dissolved in with the fruit mixture. There was a little bit of juice that had separated from the discarded part of the fruit, so I just put that in it also. I set a timer for 10 minutes because it needs to sit for that long. 3/4 of a cup of water goes into a saucepan with the pectin, and then I stirred that really well and brought it to a boil. It has to boil for 1 minute and you need to stir it while it's boiling, and then you pour it over the fruit mixture and stir it for 3 minutes. This thickened up really fast and really nicely. After stirring for 3 minutes, I then ladled it into clean plastic containers, and then I wiped the edges really well so that they wouldn't stick to the lids. Added the lids, and then this needs to sit on the counter for 24 hours, and then you put it into the freezer until ready to use. This is fabulous on toast, for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's great on ice cream and cheesecake. It also would be great on pancakes, French toast, waffles, and biscuits. So after doing this, I went back to my store to get more blackberries and pectin because I wanted to make another batch. I got the blackberries, but the store was all sold out of the Sure-jell, and all I could find was one package of the liquid pectin. And I figured that it was a reasonable substitute for the Sure-jell, since they're both pectin. But there was no recipe in with the recipes in the box for freezer jam. It was all for cooked jam. So I went online, and I think it was Just a Pinch, the website Just a Pinch, and I found a recipe using liquid pectin for freezer jam. I had washed my berries the night before, so that's why they're in a plastic bag. And I just did the same thing that I did for the other recipe, except that the measurements were different. So that's 2.5 cups of mashed fruit and juice. The recipe called for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I used about 1 tablespoon. 4 cups of sugar, and then I stirred that together well and then let it sit for 10 minutes. When that time was up, I added 1 pouch of the liquid pectin. There were 2 pouches in that box. Both jam recipes will be in the description box. And so I'm going to stir this for about the same time as I did the other recipe with the Sure-jell for about 3 minutes, and then ladle it up into these Ziploc or disposable containers that I bought. This recipe says to store in the refrigerator for 24 hours and then to put in the freezer after that. You want to make sure that you have some headspace at the top so that the jam can expand when it freezes and not explode your container. So here you have blackberry jam made with 2 different types of pectin. The recipe with the liquid pectin was a little looser and a little, it didn't set up quite as firm as the Sure-jell recipe did, but it's still great, and it's going to be great for toast, great for ice cream or cheesecake. It's just delicious. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.